Greetings and salutations, gamers. This is Laws85 with episode 67 of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for the Wii. In the last episode, we jumped down to the Sacred Grounds area behind the temple, where I showed off my piss-poor artistic skills, and then came forth to try awakening the Gate of Time. Unfortunately, the beast down below decided to wake up and says, "Hey, you ain't going nowhere until you continue with me again." So we battled the Imprisoned for the second time. So here we go. We're back in the sealed temple to awaken the Gate of Time. As do you, Groose. I do not wish to dwell on what may have happened if you two hadn't been here. Oh, you give me too much credit, Granny. You were the one who got me to stop feeling sorry for myself, put my energy into doing what I could do to help. I did what was necessary to get you to realize your full potential. Link, you must wonder just what it is you've been fighting out there in the Great Pit. There is much I could tell you, but suffice to say is the root of the evil we face. When you pass through the Gate of Time, you shall learn more. We may seal it and reseal it into its prison 1,000 times, but it will always shatter the bonds that confine it, such is its awesome power. We must destroy it at its source, or sever this fate again and again. There's no time to lose. Hit the gate with a Skyward strike. Come on already! Charge that sword of yours with that sacred force stuff Granny was talking about, and zap the Gate of Time. Right on, Granny. Indeed. Now, Link, go to the gate. Alright, as we tried doing before we got a rude awakening. Actually, you can Z-target it, but you don't need to, because it's right there. I mean, if you miss it, something's wrong. I mean, I have bad vision and stuff, but I can at least hit that from about 20 feet away. Maybe. I don't know. In game terms, I probably would have been a lot further, but oh well. Groose is freaking out, and this is a pretty spectacle here. You know, for being not one of the weaker graphic engine generators or game systems, I have to say this spot, it's pretty beautiful. You know, it's just so lifelike, so colorful, and just fairly animated well. It reminds me of like Paper Mario or something like that right here. Until it forms that, and then it just goes. Now hey, wait. It's forming other gears out of thin air like that? I can understand a big block making that thing, but those? Now that's just creepy. Now if you look at the symbol that it has right about there, you will recognize that symbol if you own the hardcover, or well, it's only in hardcover, the Hyrule Historia. Yes. Do not fear it. This is what we have been waited for. At long last, the gate has been reactivated. Standing before you is a path that transcends the flow of time. It's a portal to the past, to the very place where Zelda now awaits. Go bravely, Link. If everything is as I suspected, through union with Zelda you fought so hard for lies beyond this gate. No, don't worry about me. I'm gonna hang around back here, Link. That stupid monster doesn't know when to quit, and Granny here keeps yapping on and on about how we never know when it might be bust free again. Someone's gotta stick around and guard the place. Might as well be me. Besides, if I'm not here, who's gonna look out for the old girl? And you know what? Nah, forget about it. Yes, this episode is going to be fairly heavy cutscene wise, so be prepared. When you see Zelda, tell I said, "What's up?" And he's like, "Okay, what's up, Zelda?" Don't be afraid, Link. It don't bite. In fact, it just opens up and goes wee 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 wee. And with no fear, he goes right on through. Which is a very brave man. I'd be scared to walk on something like that. But hey, I'm not a video game character, so we can deal with it. Temple of Hylia. Ah, there's Impa right there. Let's talk to her.
Hey!
At last! I've been expecting you, Link. You are doubtlessly overwhelmed, so I will explain things as simple as I can. This is the Temple of Hylia, that will become known as the Sealed Temple sometime in the future. You stand in the past, ages before your own time. Here the goddess Hylia has only just sealed away demise. A little time has passed since the goddess sent the outcropping of rock into the sky that will one day become Skyloft. It is time. It is true to its name. You have passed through the gate of time to an era in the distant past. You will have many questions, but for now you must proceed back through the great doors behind you. Well, more like in front of us, but hey, who's talking, right? It is there that the person you risked life and blood to defend waits for you. Anything over here for us to get? And of course not. Not in this day and age. Oh, bright light. It's Zelda! Sweet Zelda. You've come so far, Link. I'm glad you made it. I imagine Impa filled you in on everything. We've traveled very far from home to a distant past. In this area, the wounds inflicted on the land during the battle between the goddess and the demon king known as Demise is not yet healed. The fairy tales about the war we heard growing up in Skyloft, incredible as it may seem, they appear to be all real. I think it's time you learned the whole story. Let me try to explain. The old gods created a supreme power that gave everyone who possessed it the ability to shape reality and fulfill any desire. They called it the Triforce. And here we go. The legend of the Triforce begins. In his thirst to make the world his own, Demise readied a massive army of monsters for war. He sought to take the Triforce for himself by force. The goddess feared for her people. She used her power to send both them and the Triforce in the sky on a slice of earth she cut away from the land. This floating rock became the new home of our people. In time, it came to be known as Skyloft. After a long and fierce battle, the goddess Hylia succeeded in sealing away Demise. However, soon after the Demon King was imprisoned, it became clear the seal would not hold long against his fearsome power. Hylia had suffered grave injuries in her battle with the Demon King. She knew that if he broke free again, there will be no stopping him. And if the Demon King were to free himself, it would mean the end of the world for all beings of this land. In order to put an end to the Demon King, Hylia devised two separate plans and set them both into motion. And Link's just slack-jawed here going, huh? What? Can't be! First, she created Fi. She made the spirit that resides in your sword to serve as a single purpose, to assist her chosen hero on his mission. Her second plan was to abandon her divine form and transfer her soul into the body of a mortal. She made this sacrifice, as you have likely guessed, so the supreme power created by the old gods could one day be used. For while the supreme power of the Triforce was created by the gods, all of its power can never be wielded by one. Knowing this power was her last and only hope, the goddess gave her divine form and her divine powers in her mortal form. You've probably figured it out by now, haven't you, Link? Nah, why don't you just go and fill us in, Zelda? You are the chosen hero, and I, Zelda, I am the goddess reborn as a mortal. Huh. Well, gee. The day of the ceremony, Girahim's tornado tossed me out of the sky and down to the world below. I was nearly captured by the demonic forces, but I was rescued at last moments by the old woman who lives in the sealed grounds. I had no memories at all of my existence as Hylia, but she explained it to me. She helped me to remember who I was and what I had to do. I set out to pray at the statues located in each temple across the land. Each statue stirred up memories within me. After I visited them all, Impa, an agent of the goddess, led me here to the past. All this is part of the same great effort to prevent the revival of Demise. Stripped of his true physical form by the seal that binds him, he takes the shape of an abomination. But even in his hideous state, he is more than capable of devouring this land if we allow him to do what he desires. We must stop him from freeing himself from the seal that imprisons him at any cost. That is why I intend to remain here in this time and place to sustain the seal as best as I can. As long as I continue this vigil, we may be able to prevent the Demon King from reviving himself in our time. Link's like, what? I must maintain the seal that Hylia, rather that I created so long ago, and keep it strong for as long as I am able. With the memories of my former life returning to me, I can see now that this is my purpose. Link, the goddess created Fi and the great blade she's a part of for very specific reasons. For the task of standing against Demise and the monster's form he now assumes rests solely on your shoulders. Back in our time, you're already driven him back into his prison twice. Now, I can't thank you enough for that, Link. During your long journey, you've grown so much. You learned wisdom from solving devious puzzles and traps. You've gained power by honing and tempering both yourself and your sword. And by overcoming the trials set before you by the goddess, you formed true courage. Now that those qualities reside in you, you are worthy of wielding the power the old gods left behind for our kind. You can claim the Triforce. Valiant hero, you have endured many hardships and journeys far in your quest to reach this place. Along your travels you have found wisdom, power, and courage, and for that I shall bless your sword with the goddess's power. May I give you and your sword the strength to drive back the abomination that threatens this land. The marks you see upon the back of your hand is proof that you are the hero of legend, that within you dwells sacred power. It is the mark of the Triforce. Stand now, Link, and draw your sword. Goddess has blessed your blade, and the Master Sword has at least achieved its ultimate form. Ladies and gentlemen, we go from the final form of this sword to the Master Sword, the evil of the... crap. I can't remember how it's described, but in the Wind Waker, it's what they call the Bane of Evil, or the Blade of Evil's Bane, or some shit like that. The sword is now imbued with the mystical powers driven to drive back demons, and only Link may wield it. Link, before I say another word, I feel like I owe you an apology. You see, the mark of the Triforce on your hand is a symbol of the greatest power in this world. If you can obtain the actual Triforce, we will have the power to vanquish Demise once and for all. The problem is, among the countless souls in this world, only a select few, those with an unbreakable spirit, can wield its might. It's impossible to know the true reason why the old gods created the Triforce, but I have a theory of my own. The gods created the Triforce, yet they specifically designed it so that their own kind could never use its power. Somehow, I think that may have been their way of giving hope to all the mortal beings of the land. Which brings us back to you. To face this demise and give this land hope, the goddess Hylia needed someone with an unbreakable spirit. That someone is you, Link. But spirit alone wasn't enough. You had to overcome many trials and awaken the hero within yourself, so that you could wield the supreme power. And so Hylia, I knew that if it meant saving Zelda, you would throw yourself headfirst into any danger without even a moment's doubt. I used you. Don't all women sometimes? I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am for pulling you into all this, Link. But you have to understand this is a war, and the fate of the lands hang in the balance. I need your strength to tip the scales in our favor. All that might be well intentioned and true, but it doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't excuse my actions. I'm prepared to pay the price for what I've done. To ensure the seal holds, I will remain here in this time, deep in sleep for thousands of years. Link, I can't say it enough. I'm so sorry for the way I had to involve you in this. But until my memory of things before our lifetime returned to me, I had no idea we were fated to carry such a heavy destiny. Before all this, I was happy just spending my days hanging around with you in Skyloft. I wanted that feeling to last forever. And Link goes, "No, Zelda, it's okay, And while it's true that I'm highly reborn, I'm still my father's daughter, and you're your friend. I'm still your Zelda. When Demise is finally gone, there will be no more for the seal that binds him, then I'll be able to wake up. So I'm going to ask you a favor, sleepyhead. Ever since we were kids, I'd always be the one to wake you up when you slept in. But this time, when all this is over, will you come to wake me up?" "Oh, I will." Again, those choices have no bearing on how the game's gonna react. It's just something for you to be more interactive. Again, I told you this one's gonna be a little cutscene heavy. That's the reason why I ended it where it was supposed to. So. A big pile of, or a big glob of amber she's sealed in. The deed has been set, Link. Alrighty then, guys. I'm just curious. Can I go out? Nope. Alright, guys. This episode has gone on long enough. When we come back, we are going to go back into the future, or to our time, and figure out what's going on. Until next time, guys, this has been the Laws 85. This has been episode 67 of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Would y'all kindly join me for episode 68 as we begin the quest for the Triforce. This is the Laws 85, signing out.